The NBA offseason is in full swing, and we are days away from NBA free agency. I'm just ready to see what Leon Rose and the New York Knicks do. Is it going to be Brunson? Is it going to be somebody else? It's exciting. The unknown is always something to look forward to. But if you're excited, if you're ready for NBA free agency, go down and like the video right now. What's going on, everybody? You're watching New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's show, we're going to recap a little bit of what happened on NBA Draft Night and all the draft assets the Knicks have attained, including all the first-round picks they have. And then we'll look at 5 trade targets the Knicks could look to make a trade for because they have a lot of ammunition in the chamber. They have 11 first-round picks over the next 7 years. 4 first-round picks in 2023. Some of those might, roll over into 2024 because there are some protections on those picks. But right now, if everything falls like it should, you have 4 first-round picks in 2023, your own, the Mavericks, and 2 picks you got by trading down from number 11 with OKC. 2 first-rounders in 2025, which brings it to 11 first-rounders over the next 7 years. The Knicks, they're collecting assets to make a big trade. And since when was that a bad idea? I've seen a lot on Twitter that the Knicks, they made bad moves on NBA Draft Night, but they turned pick 11 into $14 million in cap space, as well as 3 future first-round picks. And that's why the NBA Draft wasn't all about Brunson. Everyone wants to say the Knicks made every move that they made to clear salary cap space to go sign Brunson. Did they clear cap space to go do that? Yes, but you don't add 3 future first-round picks to go sign someone in NBA free agency. It's not going to be a sign and trade. They're going to offer him 4 years for about $100 to $110 million, and if he wants to come play for the blue and orange, he'll sign on the dotted line and be the starting point guard for the Knicks for a very long time. We're going to get into those trade targets in just a second, but first, with free agency just around the corner, I want to remind you guys, or if this is your first time watching a New York Knicks Now video by Chat Sports, to go down right now and hit that big red button, because here at New York Knicks Now, we're putting out videos every single day. And when the Knicks make a move, I promise you, we will be the first channel on YouTube to have a video up, breaking it down and informing all Knicks fans. So hit that big red button. Help us get to 7,000 subscribers. We're less than 200 away. Lock us in. Hit that big red button. Let's start it off with Kevin Durant. KD, don't you wish you play for the Knicks? Yes, Kevin Durant is eyeing, looking, and possibly thinking about leaving the Brooklyn Nets. This is someone that has talked about wanting to leave if Kyrie Irving is not re-signed by the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie has a player option for about $36 million. It is expected that he will decline that and test free agency because him and the Brooklyn Nets are nowhere close on an extension. And Kevin Durant is saying, if you're not going to pay Kyrie, I'm going to look elsewhere. And Shams reported this a couple of minutes before the NBA draft kicked off on Thursday and said, sources, Kevin Durant is monitoring the Brooklyn Nets situation and considering options with his future. This now opens the path for Kyrie Irving to proceed on finding a new home via opt-in trade. If Kevin Durant is out there and on the trade market, as much as I hate KD for making the Knicks look dumb and always talking shit about him, go all in. Go get Kevin Durant. Arguably a top 10 player to ever touch a basketball. And the stats show that. 29 points per game this past year, 6.5 assists, shot 52% from the floor, 38% from 3. Slim Reaper is really just a bucket getter. He's a hooper. That's what he does. He puts the ball in the basket probably better than anybody ever has in NBA history. If you can make a move for KD and you have to trade a couple of players and a couple of assets, you do it because this is someone that is rare in the NBA. I'm not a big fan of KD, but I'd be a big fan of him if he came to the New York Knicks. But I'll ask you this question and then we'll continue on. Would you trade for KD? Seriously. Type KD for yes, or you can go down and type FKD for no. One that we've talked about on this show plenty of times before. Donovan Mitchell. The Donovan Mitchell trade rumors have not died down. We are just focused on the draft and free agency. They're still out there, and deservedly so. Mitchell's one of the best players in the NBA, especially at a young age. This past year, he averaged 26, 5.3 assists per game, 45% from the field, 35% from three. But a lot of people say he's not a primetime player in the playoffs. Did he have a bad series in the Western Conference playoffs this year against the Dallas Mavericks? Yes, where he only shot 40% from the field and 20% from three. But what about what he did in 2020 and 2021, where he averaged 36 points per game and 32 points per game on 53% from the field and 52% from deep? Donovan Mitchell is a big-time player. He plays his best in big-time games. I just think he's ready to get out of Utah. Him, Rudy Gobert, it is not a good relationship. Quinn Snyder is out. That adds more fuel to the fire of potentially Donovan Mitchell wanting out, and we know that Leon Rose is ready to make a big move. He has the picks, and he's had his eyes on Donovan Mitchell for a very long time. So what about this trade idea? I was thinking about it today. Maybe it's too much, but I'll let you be the judge. Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks, and the Knicks give up Randall, Reddish, Grimes, and 3 first-round picks. The Detroit pick has a heavy protection. Dallas's first-round pick next year, New York's does not. 3 first-round picks, 2 young players, and Randall to match the salary. It's a lot, but you got to spend money to make money. So I'll ask you this question. Would you make this trade if you were Leon Rose? Get Mitchell, give up Randall, Reddish, Grimes, and 3 first-round picks. Type A for accept, type D for decline. Another player we have talked about and we know has rumors out there about wanting to play for the New York Knicks is Zion Williamson. But I have a little bit of caution, or I think I tread lightly when it comes to Zion Williamson. He's a great player, but the injuries concern me. We saw how good he was back in 2020 and 2021, his second season in the NBA, where he was one of the best players on the court. 27 points per night, 7 rebounds, 61% from the floor. When he's on the floor, we know he's one of the best on the hardwood. But it's about being on the floor. He didn't play in 2021. He didn't play that much his rookie year. And I have concerns about what he will be long term. And I feel like the Knicks have been there and done that. Traded the farm, traded the assets for players that have injury histories. Antonio McDyess, they signed Amari Stoudemire. We've done that. His inability to stay on the floor is concerning, no doubt. His weight is a problem. How will he evolve? Will he have a long career? I have concerns about Zion Williamson, but he is a perennial all-star type of player with the talent that he possesses. And the report is that the Pelicans want to avoid giving Zion Williamson a fully max contract that's fully guaranteed. And Zion Williamson, from what I've read, is not happy with that. He could force his way out. He wants to make sure he can get as much money as possible. And if the Knicks call the Pelicans and say, we'll give you Randall, Grimes, Reddish, and 4 first-round picks, could the Pelicans really say no to that? It's going to be something very interesting to monitor, but I'll ask you this question. Would you trade for Zion? With all the baggage, the injury history, the body weight, everything that comes with trading for Zion, would you do it? Type T for trade, or you can go down and type P for pass. We talked about it at the top of the show. NBA free agency is almost here. And here at Chat Sports, youtube.com/chatsportstv, we're going to be live for every single day of NBA free agency, breaking everything down. I'll be on there once the Knicks sign somebody. Maybe it's Jalen Brunson. Maybe it's somebody else. But join us over there on June 30th, youtube.com/chatsportstv. This one is a sign and trade. What about Miles Bridges? He's going to be a restricted free agent in a couple of days, but it sounds like him and the Charlotte Hornets aren't really close on a contract extension. Shams Charania reported that rival executives expect Hornets restricted free agent Bridges to command a maximum or near max deal in July. And sources said there's hesitancy from Charlotte to match a max sheet. Bridges had a breakout season in 2021. And a league that saw wings such as Golden State's Andrew Wiggins and Boston's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have game-changing impacts on a run to the NBA Finals, Bridges' two-way ability on the wing has become incredibly valued towards winning. We've seen Miles Bridges light up the New York Knicks since he entered the NBA, and he had his best season yet in 2021. Averaged 20, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, shot about 50% from the floor, 33% from 3. This guy is a dog. He can do it all on the court. I like the tenacity and the heart he plays with, and he wanted to be a Knick coming into the NBA, and that seeing him play against us hurts. I could only imagine what he could do every single night in Madison Square Garden. Last player we'll talk about on today's show, what about OG Anunoby, the two-way wing that continues to get better every single season? The Raptors, they may be trying to get off Anunoby. Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report said, following a standout season from Rookie of the Year Scotty Barnes, word is circulated among rival front offices that Anunoby grew dissatisfied at times with his role in Toronto, where Barnes joined Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet as the primary ball handlers in Nick Nurse's offense. Two sources with knowledge of the dynamic told Bleacher Report that Anunoby has not directly expressed discontent with the situation with the Raptors. Perhaps the conversations around him has been driven more by external interests in acquiring the fifth-year forward services. Chris Haynes reported that on the day before the NBA draft, the Portland Trail Blazers were in hot pursuit of Toronto Raptors forward OG Anunoby with the number 7 pick. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I think the Raptors are trying to move on from him. They have Scotty Barnes. They have Pascal Siakam. They have Fred VanVleet. That's 3 max contract players. And the way that Anunoby played in 2021, when his contract is up, he's going to want the big bucks. When you average 17 points per game, 5 rebounds, shoot 44% from the field and 36% from 3, and are one of the best wing defenders in the NBA, you deserve a lot of money. And this is the type of deal I could see Leon Rose pulling off this offseason. If you can get a young trio of Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett, and OG Anunoby, that would be something that you could build for and build on top of for a very long time. Those 3 players are what the New York Knicks fans want. Hard-nosed players that play defense and can get it done and play with the winning spirit. OG Anunoby would be somebody I would love for the Knicks to trade for, but Leon Rose has a decision to make this offseason. These are the 5 guys we talked about. And look, the reason we're talking about it, the Knicks have 7 first-round picks to use as trade chips in the next 3 seasons. They're not going to draft 7 first-rounders. They're going to make a trade. Will be for Durant, Mitchell, Zion, Miles, OG, I don't know, but I am almost certain the Knicks are going to make another move this offseason after they go out and sign maybe Jalen Brunson or another free agent point guard. To wrap up today's show, and then I'll get on out of here, let me know a player who you want the Knicks to trade for this offseason.